A string of violence in Nebraska prisons has lawmakers scratching their head on how to keep prison guards and inmates safe. Star City's news reporter Reed Hunsaker is live in the newsroom with more.
Thanks, Seth. Well, the ACLU recently wrote a letter to Governor Pete Ricketts urging him to improve living conditions in Nebraska prisons. But what does that mean with Nebraska lawmakers?
If you're going to get in this profession, then you need to check your ego at the door. And you need to go in understanding that these individuals are human beings and they're people just like you are.
Michael Hunter worked as a corrections officer in Nebraska prisons for 4 years. His decision to leave was an easy one after seeing how other prison guards treated the inmates.
They're not being listened to, they're not being heard, and they're not being respected.
I tried reaching out to the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services for a comment on a fire that broke out at the Lincoln Correctional Center on April 7th. Communications Director Dawn Renee Smith says the Nebraska State Fire Marshal will investigate the fire. She also said the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services will conduct an internal critical incident review to determine the causal factors and the corrective action method. Omaha Senator Bob Christ has proposed a bill in the Nebraska legislature expanding the role of the Inspector General, who issues a report on each Nebraska prison incident.
The goal is trying to get the Inspector General for Corrections to be able to immediately gather information about an incident or some activity at the prison system like we've seen lately, and to be able to analyze it and report back to the legislature in a timely manner.
Senator Christ hopes these changes will be resolved on the floor of the Nebraska legislature.
I'm hoping that we are able to put a plan together and fund a plan that gets us on the other side of getting those correctional services inside and creating a safe environment for both the inmates and for the corrections officers.
Reporting for Star City News, I'm Reed Hunsaker.